discuss with you today about a temperament that some people have that makes relationships more difficult. And that temperament is they're sneaky. It's not a mental illness. It's just that they sneak around. They're sneaky. They're evasive. They don't tell the truth. And many times when you're dating one of these people, you get caught into, is it something worse? Because of their sneakiness, you get more suspicious. And then many times what they'll do is they'll accuse you of being really jealous or suspicious when, in a sense, those aren't your temperaments or those aren't your natural ways. It's that their behavior is inciting you to act more suspicious. You know, the thing with a sneaky person is it's usually something that's learned in childhood. Maybe a child was raised with a parent who got overexcited or reacted dramatically to anything that child told them, like, I got a bad grade, or if the teacher called, and the child learned to hide that information. They would show them part of the good stuff, but they wouldn't show them the other stuff. And when the parent asked, they learned how to, sometimes you'd say, well, they were lying, but more than lying, it's a sneakiness. They just are like, they're always around, they're evasive. You can't put your hand on it. I'm going to go through 7 ways you can tell if the person you're dating is sneaking. And I think what's important about this is because it may have brought out a very suspicious part of yourself, and you may feel yourself changing and thinking that this person has something much deeper, then it's probably not in this case. It's just that they're sneaky. But once again, because I am really pro being transparent and direct, I would have trouble if I had a sneaky partner. Okay, the first of these is they are ignorant or they act confused if you ask them about something that they don't want you to know. Like you could say, well, I told you that yesterday, or didn't we discuss this before? I don't remember. I don't know. Now this is a lie because they do remember. They do know. They just don't want to go there. And the bottom line of this is these aren't big deals necessarily. Like they can be over small things. It's just something your partner doesn't want to discuss. And so they will be sneaky or they'll evade the question. They'll lie about it. Secondly, being overprotective of any of their devices. If you look at your partner's phone and they really react, like overreact, that's a sneaky person. They're hiding. There's something on there they don't want you to see. And whether it's just feeling a violating of their privacy or whatever, it's not normal. In a healthy relationship, usually 2 people, you could share your phone and you wouldn't be hurt by what your partner said. Sometimes people are a little bit more protective. They have work stuff on there and they don't necessarily want you scrolling through your phone. And I get that. But at the same time, if this is following other sneaky patterns, then that's probably why you're suspicious, and I don't blame you. Although sneakiness isn't a mental disorder, it can turn into being an evasive person who is living a double life. So your suspiciousness is warranted because you could be onto something that you do need to look at. But who wants to live their life being suspicious of someone who just isn't able to be upfront and honest about something? Next, you can pay attention to their body language. Sneaky people, watch them. They're anxious, so it comes out in their body. They're fidgety, their leg may jerk all the time. There's a lot of emotion going into them controlling what they don't want to reveal for whatever reason. It could be something that could betray the relationship. It might be something from their past, but you're not going to know because these type of people don't often come out directly with what's going on with them. They seem to keep canceling on you. This would be very new into the relationship, especially If a person keeps canceling on you, and I'm kind of hard on people at this point, because if you're just starting to date and someone is canceling all the time, or they're giving you excuses, man, I would not stick around to continue to date them, because there's too many things going on, red flags you don't know about, and you don't need to be with a sneaky person, even if there's nothing else underneath that. The fact that they can't be honest with how they're feeling would be enough for me if I was looking for someone to secure a relationship with. A more defensive tone points to being sneaky in relationships. If you bring up something and they get very defensive frequently, that's a person who is sneaky. And when I say sneaky at this point, I mean this person is trying to cover something they're very anxious about you knowing. It could even be something that they feel if you knew about it, you would reject them. So even though you may be able to comfort them with that, you're probably not going to know, because a sneaky person would be too afraid to tell you about that. And lastly, their stories just never add up. Like when they tell you a story, you can't tell if it's exaggerated, if it's real, if it's fictional, or what. Now, I'm going to tell you as a therapist what I would do. I would talk to them about this, and I would practice direct communication. I would say, listen, we have got to get on the same page. I love you, and I think we could work together. We have so many things in common, but this form of communication is not going to work with me. Many times these people are passive aggressive or passive too. So they're people pleasers, and they're afraid that what they tell you might hurt you. But let's face it, the most important thing in a relationship is honesty. And if they are not willing to use direct communication and get honest, and they aren't willing to talk to a mental health professional about this, about the two of you communicating better, then I would advise you not to continue in this relationship.